across portfolios. Portfolios with higher betas tend to have higher returns. Historically, for example, portfolios of the smallest 10% of stocks have much higher average returns than the portfolios of largest 10% of stocks. And let's actually see that. There is a database maintained by Ken French that tracks the returns to portfolios based on size. And the strategy is kind of simple. At the end of every June, sort existing stocks by size, market cap, and put the smallest 10% into the small cap portfolio. And the largest 10% into the large cap portfolio. And hold these portfolios for a year. And the next June, rinse and repeat. The reason you do that, every year, over time there are new stocks that come into the market, or some of the stocks are delisted. Even if there is no entry or exit, stocks change their size, right? Just because you were small last year doesn't mean you're going to be small the following year. Back when Google was first IPO'd, it wasn't in the large cap portfolio. The reason it became such a large company, it gained value. Let me show you that if you type Ken French database, the first link is going to be Ken French data library. Let's see. This is sorts based on size. All right. Let's get the CSV. Okay. Now they have done this since basically June 1926. There's a lot of stuff here. This low 30 means smallest 30%, largest 30%. These are 20%. And I'm going to do these. I'm going to call those deciles. Now, this is going to be basically the small cap. This is going to be the large cap. Let's see. These are value-weighted returns, which means stocks have values that are proportional to their market cap. Let's calculate the average monthly return basically until January 23. These are already in percent terms. So over the last, almost 100 years, small cap stocks earned an average of 1.35% a month. I'm going to multiply that with 12 just to annualize it. That's kind of an APR. Or actually, let's do this. I'm going to convert that into, that's an APR number. Affect that. This is a, let me make that a bit bigger. This is an effective annual rate. That means if you earned 1.35% every month, at the end of 12 months, you would have earned 17.52. And just copy the formulas. So small caps earn an average of 17.5 a year, large caps 11.2. So the difference is 6.5% a year. This is the difference, or sometimes it's called size premium. That's actually a lot of money. Here's an example. Let's say this is about 96 years. Let's say you put $1 in 1926, and you earn that rate for 96 years. Your $1 in 1926 would have become $5.4 million. Let's copy that. The same number for large cap portfolio is only about 111,000. You see the difference? Sure, 96 years is a lot of compounding. So 624 is not a small number in terms of premium. And according to CAPM, that extra return that you get on small caps should be because it has higher beta, all right? And let's kind of see the risk. And I'm going to kind of close it here. It says average. Let's also calculate standard deviation. Actually, let me get that in. It looks like, in terms of total risk at least, the small cap stocks have roughly twice more risk, right? So at least at a minimum, you're earning those extra returns. One of them gets you to $111,000 over 96 years, starting from $1. The other gets you to 5.4. That's because you're taking double the risk. But is that the systematic risk? You're going to figure out. As you can see, as we go from small to large, standard deviation also goes down. And same thing with returns. Let's actually do this. This is also my way of showing you how to do a two-scale graph. Not that. Move chart. And I'm gonna format data series, put it in secondary axis. That way, they have different scales. This puts them into pretty much common scale. But as you can see, as 1 is the smallest, 10 is the largest. As size of the portfolio increases, both average return and the risk decrease. This is kind of predicted by the CAPM as well, but does that happen to the degree CAPM says it should? We will find out, okay? That's going to be the topic of pretty much next week. The answer is no, there are some factors other than beta that affects it, and that's going to let us into what we call multi-factor asset pricing models. So let's stop here today. Monday, we're going to talk about, just read up on Fama French asset pricing model.